Isle finally arrived on the public test server. We are going to check out the patch notes today. The first part, I'm going to showcase the new content, new sets, and so on. And in the second part, I will showcase the combat changes, like item set changes, and so on. Let's get this started. You can also already find all the new stuff on ESO-hub.com. We do have all the Tales of Tribute card game cards here, all listed up already, so you can find the full thing. As well, if you go to the DLC section, High Isle, it will also have all the new sets, as well as all the new furnishings, and we will keep adding more over the next few weeks. I also wrote a sets article on alcasthq.com, just kind of like showcasing all the new sets, or like explaining them. I will also put the link in the description. Anyway, let's get started. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Online V8 and our newest chapter, High Isle. Visit the beautiful Sistrus archipelago far to the southwest of continental Tamriel and delve into the culture and secrets of the noble and chivalric Breton people. I will also do timestamps if you just want to skip over a few things. This chapter not only explores the lore and political intrigue of the Bretons, but also introduces two new companions. You can use them to support your efforts throughout the world, including conquering the new volcanic vents found throughout High Isle. Basically the world events, like dolmens. For a bigger challenge, be sure to head to Dreadsail Reef, a new 12-player trial located in the northwest section of High Isle. We're also very excited to introduce you to Tales of Tribute, a new deck-building card game. Play against NPCs or against your fellow players to earn new cards, decks, furnishings, cosmetics, transmute crystals, and more. To get started, simply head to the Royster Club of Gonfalon Bay. Severe name. And I like that they mentioned this, like, isn't it the main feature? It should be mentioned first. But it is what it is. Like I said, we do already have most of the, or like basically all of the cards here. There is like 8 decks that you can get, plus a treasury, which is basically the, like, it's always, treasury is always present. And while the card game might look complicated to understand, I will write guides, videos, and all that stuff for it. So like once you get your hands on it, you will actually understand it fairly fast. Trust me. This chapter also includes several new item sets and mythic items, new antiquities, a number of new collectibles, tons of new achievements. There's some really juicy mythic items, or at least one of them is really good, and a few of the sets are also good. The free update 34 base game introduces the highly requested Mundus stones in the armory system, along with the implementation of the upscaling technology of Fidelity FX Super Resolution. I mean, this is a good quality of life improvement, adding the Mundus stones to the armory system. I actually did not think they would do this, because the main reason they didn't implement it in the first time, my guess was because you could, like, they sell you Mundus stones in the store, right? And now if you can just save all of them, do you really need to buy them anymore? But maybe it was also a technical limitation why they didn't do it, so now they fixed it and it's in. That's good. It's a good quality of life update. We have also made some updates to the quick slot wheel, have added the option to choose your own music on the title screen, interesting. Made some accessibility improvements and more. Lastly, we are excited to add localized Spanish text to ESO in this update. On ESO-Hub, at the moment we have English, German and French. We will also add Spanish and Russian. Should actually be there fairly soon. This latest update is approximately 5 GB in size, and we have copied all PCNA characters this week. Let's get through it. The new zone, High Isle. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about. Oh yeah, there's after you complete the tutorial or otherwise arrive in High Isle, seek out the rogue Yakharn awaiting for your arrival at various locations in and around Gonfalon Bay. Gonfalon Bay. Okay, it's basically the guy that starts the main story, sure. 6 delves, 6 world bosses, 2 public dungeons, crafting stations, 9 full length objective quests, whatever that means, and yeah. Volcanic Vents and Lava Vents. This Sistrus archipelago is something of an island paradise, but every paradise has its problems. Each island in the archipelago is volcanic to a greater or lesser extent. Due to certain recent events, tectonic shifts plague High Isle and Amenos, resulting in huge volcanic vents and smaller lava vents appearing throughout islands. You can seek out these eruptions and calm them, defeating the monsters that pour forth and helping local druids settle the violence bubbling up from below. Seek out large volcanic vents and engage in group overworld content as you assist the druids in their efforts to calm the eruption. Volcanic vents will appear with an icon on your map when they are active. Discover smaller lava vents and defeat the emerging enemies yourself or with friends. Earn special rewards for defeating these creatures and keeping the sisters safe. I mean, these are like the normal world events that you usually see. They're not too difficult and a lot of players are usually there anyway, so yeah. Now, the main feature of the chapter, Tales of Tribute. The new tactical card game, Tales of Tribute, has been growing in popularity in taverns across Tamriel, and now you can learn how to play and unlock a fun new pestime. Well, I don't even know what this word means. As you expand your collection and compete against others, you will earn new cards, decks, furnishings, cosmetics, transmute crystals, and more. Basically, let's go through it first. To begin, visit the Royster Club. I always have to think of Oyster. Anyway, of Gonfalon Bay in High Isle. There, speak with Bragas, who will get you started on your journey to become a Tribute Master. Once you have earned your starting decks, you will be able to learn more about Tales of Tribute and rise through the club ranks. Take on daily PvE and PvP challenges, compete in Tribute seasonal ranked play, or simply kick back at the local tavern and enjoy a friendly match with other heroes. Patron decks. These are basically the ones here. These are the Patron decks. There's different ones. 8. Each collectible Patron deck contains a unique Patron token and associated deck of cards whose mechanics synergize. Review your collected and soon to be collected Patron decks in the Tales of Tribute Patrons collection tab. There you will see the powers offered by each patron, their starter card, base cards, and upgrade cards. Many will offer hints on how to get them here. There's also like upgrade cards, and it basically tells you, okay, you have to do that to upgrade X card. Expand your game options and skills by acquiring new decks with a whole new set of cards and patron. Each deck has a set of unique cards and patron that thematically and mechanically will offer a host of new strategy opportunities when combined with other decks. I just feel like they're throwing in as much keywords as possible to make it sound cool. I don't know. Anyway, select 2 of the 4 patron decks in a match and craft a strategy based around the cards and patrons you and your opponent bring to the game. A good player will have their plans ready, but the greatest players will be ready to adapt to the ebbs and flows of the game, adjusting to each situation and countering their opponent's strategy. Patron decks can be discovered in and around High Isle by partaking in activities from public dungeons and world bosses to questing and incursions. Yeah, you also get some from like achievements. Like you might have to clear the volcanic vents X time to get something. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's already explained here. Not yet. We will also, like, we will write down the location where you can get them eventually. Cards. Every unlockable deck has some cards which can be replaced with new, more potent ones you may discover in Tamriel. Some deck upgrade cards have abilities you won't find elsewhere. You can upgrade certain cards. Let me actually... Duke of Crows. Black Feather Brigade. I'm not sure. Black Feather Brigade. But yeah, I think this one is the upgrade card. Black Feather Knave. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, like, we haven't connected all the stuff yet. It's just day 2 of the PTS. I'm already happy with how much things we have here, but eventually when we get closer to release date, we will have all the connections made, so don't worry too much about it. And I will obviously also do videos about it. Yeah, these new cards can even be discovered or earned before you have unlocked their base deck, providing you with a little extra incentive to seek out those deck unlocks. Winning in tribute matches against others grants a variety of rewards, including gold, crystals, motives, and so on. Looking for a relaxed match for fun and profit? Queue up in the activity finder for a casual game. Yeah, there's actually, in the dungeon or in the queue finder, there will also be Tales of Tribute. And there is even a leaderboard, so you can queue for social games or for ranked games, right? So this is basically the new PvP content people have been waiting for. Yeah, sarcasm. Anyway. It's kind of funny, like, most people weren't really happy about how they presented the card game. Most people didn't understand what was going on, me included. But once I played it, it's actually not that hard. But when you look at it and somebody tries to explain or showcases, it's like, dude, what's happening? Like, what the hell? But yeah, in the end, it's not too difficult. Keep in mind, one thing they didn't mention there is you cannot mix your own decks, right? Like, these are preset decks. When you fight against another player, every player can pick 2 decks. Pretty much everything is already explained in the guide here, the cards guide. But yeah, you can't create your own decks. It's just a patron, so you will have maybe Duke of Crows, Grandmaster, Lalu, and Suchiglor Master Celerus, and Rachin the Purring Liar, right? There's 4 decks. And then you have the cards in these 4 decks that get randomly mixed. And that's why I say it's less complicated than it looks, because once you do understand the presets, it's not that hard. There's a lot more things that maybe I should mention, but yeah, let's just move on. I will do a more in-depth video on these things anyway. 2 new companions, Ember and Isobel. We also do already have them in our companion section. Ember and Isobel Veluas. Ember is basically the Khajiit. We have all her skills here already. They're all listed. It's a sorcerer. I do have the feeling that most people will run around with Ember. I mean, she's a Sorc, ranged DPS or healer or whatever. It just feels like best in slot. And she has Raging Storm ultimate, which is a Zerg ulti, or Elemental Storm, basically, from player skills. Isobel is like the next in line Bastion that, I don't know. We also do have her skills here. She's a Templar. So you can take a look at these 2 if you want. Just make sure to check out eso-hub.com. If you're on mobile, you won't have this secondary bar, but up here, general game info, you will find all the things here too. The companions are here. Just click on it and you will get directed to the same page. So, 2 new companions can be befriended in High Isle by completing associated chapter content. Ember, the streetwise spellcaster, can be found at Tor Drayoch, just north of Gonfalon Bay. The Honorable Knight aspirant Isobel Veloaz can be found at Castle Navier on the southwest coast of High Isle. If you have access to the High Isle chapter, you can unlock the 2 companions through completing associated quests in the High Isle zone. Once either objective is completed, the respective companion collectible will be granted. Yeah, it's basically the same thing like always, right? Not really much more. Maybe the perk, I guess. I'm not sure if you have that yet. Yeah, anyway, let's see. Amber provides Amber's intuition, which provides a chance to acquire hidden wallets of gold when pickpocketing. So basically extra gold. Isobel grants Isobel's grace, which gives a chance to recover the pack of a slain knight when defeating world bosses, which may contain various supplies. Interesting skills. Yeah, anyway. They obviously also have racial passives. Kashid has increased critical chance by 3% and damage done by 3%, and Isobel has decreases ability cooldown by 3% and damage taken by 3%. Not too big of a deal. But yeah, anyway. Amber is definitely my favorite. So, new trial. There will be a new trial, like always. New sets. I don't know, there's not really much more to say about this. Let's see. Yeah, I think each boss will have I guess each boss will have hard mode, like always nowadays. But anyway, the cool stuff, the new sets. There is a total of 15 new sets. 19 if you count imperfect versus perfected, but yeah, a lot of new sets. So Overland, these are not meant to be like best in slot, but they should be fun to pick up, right? So you just have something extra to farm for. Light armor, Blessing of High Isle. When you're healed while in combat, increases your weapon and spell damage by 369 for 5 seconds. Like I said, I made an article on alcasthq pretty much explaining all the new sets, or just talking a little bit about them. The link is in the description. So this is meant to be a damage dealer set, kind of a weird one. Again, it's not bad, but it's also not really good. I would just rather wear Julianos, for example, which is a craftable set, which gives you 300 permanent weapon and spell damage, extra crit and max magicka. Here you do have the magicka recovery that you don't really want, and 2 magicka resource boosts. And then obviously you need to be healed to actually gain the 369 weapon and spell damage. So I wouldn't really wear this set. It's a nice addition, but that's it. Steadfast metal, medium armor, stem rack, stamina. While you have a food buff active, reduce the cost of your core combat abilities by 25%. Basically, dodge rolling, blocking, and probably some other stuff. Will cost you 25% less. Again, there's just so much better sets out there that you can have. I don't see why I would use that, unless it has a spectacular visual effect. Sisters Gold is the heavy armor set. Stem, health, stem. When you bash an enemy, place Sister's Skull on them for 15 seconds. When hit by a light attack, a target with Sister's Skull takes 2000 frost damage. I mean, again, there's just so much better sets out there. There is no reason to use this set. It's just like these sets basically exist, so you have something to farm. Crafted. Now this here is where it gets very interesting. This is the first time we do see a set with 12 bonuses. Usually there's max 5. And this is the first time there's 12. 1500 max health, 1400 max magicka stamina, health, magicka stamina, health, magicka stamina, health, magicka stamina. Previously, a lot of players, especially in PvP, used trainee to get a little bit of extra stats. But it was kind of annoying to farm because it's Overland set. It drops only in the starter zone, so it was crazy expensive. But now you can actually craft Druid's Braid, which has the same effect, but you can stack as many pieces as you want to gain more and more stats. So I am pretty sure the prices in the guild stores will drop like crazy because nobody will buy Armor of the Trainee anymore. Like, these item pieces are insanely expensive at the moment, right? Because they're used in PvP. But with this set, the prices are like, people are probably trying to get rid of the trainee items now, still make a profit. Because you can craft this and you can craft as many pieces as you want. I would probably craft this if I was leveling up characters. So it's kind of like the one size fits it all. You can use it on magicka stamina, hybrid builds, it doesn't matter. Slap on training trait, let's go. Obviously you could also create complete builds with this, right? Overall, really cool. Orders rough. Crit, weapon spell damage, crit damage, and critical healings. I mean, there is technically 6 sets, but it still counts as 5 pieces. I don't know why they do that now that they have these here. Super weird. Orders rough is basically the baby brother of Zogwin. Just a lot easier to get, right? Zogwin also has crit, penetration, and then you get like 10 times 177 crit chance and minor force. Here, crit, weapon spell damage, and then you get critical damage and critical healing by 8%. It looks like this is a unique buff. So it will stack with minor force. So in theory, yeah. In theory, you could combine Orders Wrath with Zogwin. That would be an insane amount of crit chance and crit damage. Interesting. It's also interesting that this here, like 943, this crit chance bonus is a little bit stronger than the 4-piece. But yeah, anyway. This kind of feels like a perfected set because it has this extra bonus. So sometimes Sauce does really weird stuff. But yeah, this is actually a good set. Like a very strong crafted set. Serpent's Disdain. Stem health magic. Increase the duration of your status effects you apply by 16 seconds. That's a lot. I do have status effect. Usually these things last for like 4 seconds. And that's about it. So an extra 16 seconds is a very long increase in the duration. But then on the other hand, status effects are fairly easy to apply. So do you really want to waste a 5-piece bonus for that? Maybe some niche builds might make use of this, but other than that, yeah. But maybe I just can't think of anything at the moment. Applies minor vulnerability for 4 seconds, then it would be 20, right? They take more damage. minor vulnerability is 5% extra damage taken. So it kind of depends, but yeah. Trial sets. I will obviously also test these in the game once, and if some sets really stick out, I will make videos of it. Trial. Whirl of Depth. This is the light armor damage dealer set. Weapon spell damage, minor slayer, weapon spell damage, crit chance, perfected only. When you deal damage with a light attack, you apply Whirl of the Depths to the target, dealing frost damage over 8 seconds. When this effect ends, a 5-meter whirlpool is created under the target for 6 seconds and deals frost damage every 1 second. This effect can occur once every 18 seconds and scales off the higher of your weapon and spell damage. What's the base? 2200 frost damage and 1700. I mean, it will scale off the higher of your weapon and spell damage, but the main issue I see is like you apply Whirl of the Depths to the target, dealing frost damage over 8 seconds. I guess this is sticky. And then when the effect ends, a 5-meter whirlpool is created under the target for 6 seconds and deals frost damage every 1 second. So it's basically active 14 seconds. And then it has 4 seconds more cooldown and then it procs again. So that's a fairly high uptime. If the damage is actually high enough and it's sticky, this actually might be good. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not sure it's created under the target for 6 seconds. Like, does it reapply or replace like positioning every 1 second, or just it will get placed on the ground and it just keeps ticking? I will definitely have to test this. It sounds cool. I'm just not sure if it's cool, and I'm not sure if it actually deals enough damage to be worthy. Pillager's Prophet. Light armor, so this is basically the healing set. Healing down, minor ages, max magic and magic recovery. Casting an ultimate ability while in combat grants 28% of the cost as ultimate to up to 11 group members within 12 meters. Group members can only be affected by this set every 25 seconds. This is actually pretty cool. So casting an ultimate ability while in combat grants 28% of the cost. So if you use aggressive Warhorn, which a lot of people use, and this costs 250 ulti, that's a lot of ultimate points that will be sent to 11 other group members. The only difficulty is 12 meters is a fairly small radius, so the healer would have to pretty much stand inside the group to get it to proc. Also requires a lot of timing and coordination, because if somebody hasn't used their ultimate, then the extra ultimate points won't be worth anything. So everybody has to dump their ultimates pretty much, and then the healer can use this. The cool thing is you can backbar this, right? So it doesn't have to use up full slots. So might be good, but requires a lot of coordination. Coral Riptide, that's a medium armor set. Crit chance, minor slayer, penetration, more penetration, and then increases your weapon and spell damage by up to 740 based on your missing stamina. I mean, again, since they made these hybridization changes, you can actually, you could actually use this set on a Magicka DPS as well if you use jewelry and other stuff. Because crit chance, penetration is neutral, and 740 spell damage. Like, you could mix in 1 or 2 stamina abilities into your rotation on your Magicka build to keep your stamina low. And you would get like 740 spell damage. That's an insane amount of spell damage. Same thing for stamina builds, obviously. Stamina builds do lack penetration, so it looks like they added the offensive penetration to kind of help stamina builds a little bit. And this is, I guess, kind of like supposed to be the trade-off, like the other set of Basai, because Basai increases your damage done to non-player enemies by up to 12% based on your missing magicka, and here it's missing stamina. So this could be good, but again, very difficult to use. Requires a lot of resource management on your side. Then the heavy armor Pearlscent Ward. Health, minor HGs, healing taken health. Grants you and up to 11 other group members Pearlscent Ward. Pearlscent Ward increases weapon and spell damage by up to 180 based on the number of group members that are alive. Pearlscent Ward increases damage reduction from non-player enemies out of 66% based on the number of group members that are dead. Okay. So you can get a 66% damage mitigation if enough of your group members are dead. I mean, current 0%, yeah. I wonder where the cap is. Is it a 6 or 12? Like if 6, well, not 12 would be stupid, but if 6 members are dead, will the 66% be reached? Or does it require like 10 or 12? Obviously, the set is kind of useless because you don't want people to die, and when they die, you want to rest them as fast as possible. The only reason I can see why you would want to use this is if you're progressing, training, and like half the group is dead. The extra damage mitigation might be nice because it gives you a little bit extra time to actually resurrect your dead group members. But other than that, like, I don't see why you would use this. But yeah, groups that die a lot, that might be worth. Mythics. So yeah, trial sets. I do like most of them. Not that sold on the heavy one, but the others. Yeah, juicy. Good. Mythics. Need a sip of water. Dovra Zabatons. While sprinting, gain a stack of draconic scales every 0.5 seconds, granting you 660 armor. Up to 20 stacks. Upon stopping, you deal physical damage per stack in an 8-meter shockwave. Gain a damage shield equal to damage dealt and retain draconic scales for 10 seconds, but cannot gain new stacks. At 20 stacks, this damage will also stun for 3 seconds. The damage scale is of the higher of your physical or spell resistance. This is obviously supposed to be a PvP set. It sounds like a lot of micromanagement. And there is like, you need basically 10 seconds. You need to sprint 10 seconds to fully charge this. And then it will do a shockwave and stun people around you. It's kind of hard to really know what happens like 10 seconds in advance. Or like where your character will stay in relation to the enemies. It just sounds like way too much work. Unless, like, once you have 20 stacks and you keep sprinting, it doesn't proc. You actually have to stop to get it to proc. Then it would again be fairly easy to time because you can just sprint as long as you're not at the right place. And once you're at the right place, you can stop sprinting. The shockwave will happen, stun everybody, and deal a little bit of damage. It scales of physical and spell resistance, so it's meant for tanky characters, a tanky build. You also gain armor, right? Sounds interesting, but honestly, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna do a video on this. Anyway, next one, Left-Hander's War Girdle. Roll dodge no longer evades attack and instead grants a damage shield that absorbs up to 21,000 damage over 1 second. This damage shield is unaffected by Battle Spirit. So you can still dodge roll, but it won't evade attacks. But when you dodge roll, you get a 21k shield. How long will this, how long is this gonna be there? Is it just there for 1 second? The crazy thing is, it's unaffected by Battle Spirit. So a Zork that spams a buttload of shields anyway and gets another 21k free shield. Like, how are you going to get through his, so this might be good. Like, this actually sounds really good, but we will have to see. The main question is, like, it says absorbs up to 21,000 damage over 1 second. If it disappears after 1 second, kind of might be hard to time. You basically trade the evasion on dodge roll against the damage shield. Or at 1 second, right? So, could be good. Could actually be good, yeah. Mora's Whispers. Gain up to 1528 critical chance and 10% increased inspiration, alliance rank, alliance skill, and monster kill experience based off how many books of Shalidor's library have been collected. This is basically the grinder's dream. Obviously, this won't be good for new characters because you need to collect the books of Shalidor. But once you have a character with all the books, 10% extra XP gain, I take that any day. Basically a free Ring of Mara. And it also gives a little bit of crit chance. So I would mostly use this to like grind. Because you get like, when you kill monsters, you get more XP. Sure, that's new. And now the most unbelievable set, mythic set out there yet, at least for certain build options. So it really looks like they want to make 1-bar builds more viable. And funny enough, on ESO Hub we are actually working on a build editor, which is almost finished. And I will create 1-bar builds for High Isle. And I will definitely use this ring. I was on the preview server. There, like, the one piece gave 300 weapon and spell damage. Now on the public test server, they actually buffed the already broken mythic item from 300 to 450, right? All the values were lower and they buffed it by like 25%. It's insane. Look at these stats. 450 weapon and spell damage, 5280 armor, 450 health, magic and stamina recovery, 3737 health, magic and stamina, even more crit chance. And the only trade-off is that you only have 1 bar, right? Like, holy mamma mia. That is actually insane. I obviously already do have a 1-bar build. I don't have a lot, but on alcasthq there is the Pet Zork. Basically good for Maelstrom or Watteshran. And I will definitely slap that thing on here. And the stats will be even, like, more insane. Like, it's just, I doubt this will make it to live like this. It will get nerfed before it goes to the live server. Or let's say adjusted, because it's not on the live server, so it can't really be nerfed already. But yeah, I have a feeling this gets adjusted. It's just too many stats just for equipping the ring. But if it stays that strong, this will go on every single 1-bar build. Now, I'm definitely gonna test this. and do a video, because I actually wonder, will it work in Vampire Ultimate and in Werewolf form? Because if it actually works, that's gonna be juicy as hell. So this is the craziest shit that I've seen in a while. See Serpent's Coil. While at full health, you gain 40% damage reduction. After taking damage while at full health in combat, you gain Serpent's Rebuke for 10 seconds, snaring yourself by 40% and gaining Major Berserk and Major Courage. Increasing your damage done by 10% and weapon and spell damage by 430. The damage reduction doesn't apply while Serpent's Rebuke is active, okay. So I do like the 40% damage reduction, so like if you get caught by surprise, you won't get one shot. But then, what kills this mythic for me is the 40% snare. I feel like it should be reduced to 20 or 15. Because the problem is, somebody already tested it on the PTS. This snare stacks with other snares. So if a mob hits you with a 20-40% snare, and you have to add another 40%, you cannot move anymore. So this mythic will be useless, unless they reduce this number. I like the idea, but this is overkill. So there's obviously also new antiquities, Druidic Provisioning Station, Golden Ship's Helm. I'm not sure. We do have one of the... I mean, we do have this station, we do have it on ESO-up.com already. There's no screenshot yet. There's also a few other things. But anyway, new outfit styles, Ancestral Breton Steadfast Society, markings, mounts, emotes, costumes, mementos, pets. And yeah, these are the patrons, new dice, and a lot of achievement titles. Holy mother. New homes. A lot of new furnishings, like mentioned before. You can find them here already on the overview page. Scroll past the sets, or yeah, pretty much here. Most of them don't have images yet, but we are working on getting them as soon as possible up there. Yep. So that's pretty much all the new stuff. I will do a second video showcasing like the combat changes, class changes, and so on. Because otherwise, like, this video is already 45 minutes long. Yeah. Make sure to check out ESO-up.com, link in the description. Make sure to check out alcasthq.com, link in the description. And let me know what you think about the new sets, the new cards. It's always great to read some feedback or opinions about the new update. The High Isle chapter will launch on June 6th for PC and probably 2 weeks later for console, if I recall correctly. Let me actually... Yeah, June 6th. I'm not sure if console launches at the same time, but usually it's 2 weeks later. But anyway, we will see. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that juicy like button. Cheers.